What's up, guys? Welcome to Superhero Chat. We're going to take the back screen today. We're going to talk about that movie down there.
In some direction.
Down here. This is Sleepwalker. Thanks, Dan Zier, for pointing it out to us.
Yeah.
I watched, he commented on our video and said, hey, go check out this video, this movie. And so I watched like a minute of it, and I was like, me and Lewis are going to have to watch this now. And so I don't know much about the character like Lewis does.
He needs to go back and watch the video we made where I talk about the character.
But Sleepwalker is a Marvel character. As you can see, Marvel Sleepwalker. Their channel is called Marvel Sleepwalker on YouTube.
So look for it.
Go check it out. It's excellent. It's really good.
It's less than 30 minutes.
Right. And yeah, so let's talk about it. What do you think?
Okay. So this is the Sleepwalker movie I didn't even know I needed.
That's right.
And how does the Batman thing work? This is the Sleepwalker movie we needed, but
not the one that you deserved.
Okay. So I don't know how that works. Anyway, this is excellent. Considering
it's the one that you needed and the one you deserved.
Yeah, this is the one I didn't even know I deserved.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So Dan Zier,
thank
you for pointing this out.
Really great. So I don't know much about the character, as I'm sure many of you don't either.
Because he's a low key '90s character. His series lasted about 3 years or less, and Marvel's not really done a whole lot with him. I mean, I think he's blipped on the radar a couple times with their random...
and so this is all fan-made. Like, this entire video, or movie, on YouTube is just completely fan-done. And
like 5 years in the making, right?
Yeah, apparently in 2015, they went to a Comic-Con and talked about the movie. And they just posted it in December.
Yeah. So,
basically, you follow this character... who is just a normal dude in New York, Brooklyn.
Yep.
And
he has trouble falling asleep.
Seems to have these weird dreams. And
he remembers something of them, but he's not sure completely what's going on. And I thought the way they handled that in this video was very well done with the modern adaptations and stuff. I thought that was really cool.
Meanwhile, there's something going on in a lab that we don't really know much about. But it
somehow involves the bad guy because...
which is 8-Ball.
Yeah. Who everybody seems to know.
He's great.
Okay, so he's far and away probably the best character. He gets some of the best lines, even though they're puns. I'm a sucker for puns.
Yeah. Well, I love, like, when Sleepwalker shows up. It's just really excellent.
Yeah.
Really, really well done. And so there's a big fight scene between Sleepwalker and 8-Ball, and it's so much fun. It feels like a Marvel movie the way they did it. I don't know. They just did an excellent job.
Minus the Rent-A-Cops.
But
I think that was a budget issue.
Right. There were some things that you were like, yeah, these guys are definitely not police officers.
Right.
If they had been like campus security or something,
it
would have worked well.
Yeah.
But when they show up, it's like these guys aren't cops. They have like
plastic bags.
Dollar store.
Not that there's anything wrong with the dollar stores.
It's like dollar store police uniforms. And the car's not even a cop car. But, I understand it's a budget, so I'm willing to suspend some disbelief for that. Because everything else is just so good.
Right.
The dialogue's excellent. The acting is very good for
what
YouTube
you got?
video.
Yeah.
And there's very few complaints I had about even the acting.
Felt like the characters, the actors were believable in their roles.
Right.
Which is so crucial for stuff like this. One thing that I really dug, and you might be able to see from the picture that we screen capped there, he's not wearing spandex, right? It's like everyday material, and I dig that. Like, I think it gives it a texture that most superhero movies don't have.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a nice change of pace.
Like the Sleepwalker looks excellent.
Yeah, and the voice, the actor playing him, I don't know, it sounded like what I could hear Sleepwalker would sound like.
The visual effects they were outdated, but they were YouTube quality, so they looked great.
Yeah.
So I was more than fine with that. I mean, this isn't a Hollywood budget, you know.
Right.
I was like, looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know. Now, as far as critiques, other than the police cars, my biggest complaint with it is that they spent a lot of time bringing characters that, if you know the characters, then you're going to be like, whoa, that's awesome. But for me, who has no idea who any of these people are, they took away time from the main villain, 8-Ball.
Who looks really sweet.
Who is
with
like
the update. I like the way that
right.
they did his costume. I thought that was really neat.
Who's really excellent in this episode. But they took away time from him to introduce these random characters that nobody knows.
Yeah.
I know you know, but nobody else knows.
Well, no, I mean, there was one character something happens to, and I was like, I don't remember that character, so I had to look it up.
Right.
And then it was like, oh,
you're talking about the after credit.
Yes.
Well, I'm talking about in the regular part of the episode. There's a few scenes that I felt like they could have cut. They were fun, or
set up future stuff, but because it didn't really help us understand what was going on at large.
I wanted some more time with 8-Ball before he becomes 8-Ball.
Right.
I think that's what I would have wanted, because he becomes 8-Ball like that in this. You see him like one time, and then the next time you see him, he's becoming 8-Ball, and I'm like, this feels very quick.
Right.
And the only reason I say cut the other part isn't because I didn't like it. Honestly, like, if that was, I just assumed that you cut parts of him to put in these other characters when you really should have cut them and put more of him in it.
Or given us 15 minutes.
So I felt like the story didn't really flow. Like, it was very empty. Like, things just happened. Like, there was no, like, glue that melded the episode together. Like, 8-Ball does his thing at the end, and then Sleepwalker just happens to show up. It's like there's no connection between 8-Ball and Sleepwalker. Like, why should they be fighting in this episode? Maybe he should do his dastardly deeds in this episode, and then the next episode they fight. That way, like, it gives a reason for Sleepwalker to go after him. Or does he just happen to show up anytime a crime comes?
Is he McGruff?
So I felt like the story was a little lacking, but the character development was just so good. It didn't bother me for an episode 1 kind of thing.
I'll say this, because it's based on a comic from the 90s. I feel like it had that. We're gonna get an issue 2.
Right.
We're gonna get more on these characters. Unfortunately, because it's taken them so long to make this full movie, I worry that we may not get an issue 2
for another 5 years.
Right. So because of that, the investment as the viewer may not be like. As we were watching, I was like, "Oh, dude, that is so cool! Oh, that's neat! Oh, that's Bob Bodansky, the guy who created it." You know, like, there's these neat little things as we're going through that I'm like, "That's really cool." And then, unfortunately, one of the actors died between when they filmed the scenes with that actor. And
he was one of the best actors.
Yeah, so it was one of the best parts. Maybe
one of the best parts of the episode. It was so funny. Actually, like, that whole scene with him at his apartment fixing people's stuff is hilarious. Yeah. It's so good. Like I said, the character development is really good, especially between him and his girlfriend. Like, their little story, and like some of the scenes between some of the characters, I thought felt more realistic than even like Hollywood stuff. Yeah. Because like Hollywood has like this trumped up idea of what reality looks like. But like this, like they're sitting at a bar and they're talking and they sound like real people. I'm like, Oh, okay, that's cool. I like it. I like that
I
they go
could-
more realism than like fake lines. That
I could believe you guys are friends in real life, and
Right.
this is what you do on a Tuesday night.
the laughing didn't seem fake.
Um,
They seemed like they genuinely enjoyed hanging out there, and I was like, "This is good. This is really good. Well done."
I have one complaint.
Okay. What's your
and this is unrelated to this movie show specifically. There are no bells signaling class changes in college. At least to no college I've attended, and I've been to 4 different schools. 4 different schools, and not once have I heard a bell ring
Right.
other than a fire alarm.
I think it's more of like a high school kind of thing.
It is a high school kind of thing,
Or
but none of
middle
these
school
characters
or
are in high school.
Right.
And like in high school, we had the bells to signal the change.
Right.
In college,
usually
you
like,
just when the
Professor,
times-
I got to get to my next class.
Right.
Can we go?
Right. Or you get up and you leave because your time is up, and you just miss whatever stupid hard assignment the prof gives right at the
Right.
end because you weren't willing to sit there and wait.
I'd forgotten you'd mentioned that.
So Hollywood, stop with that. Just have the,
Well, they're not Hollywood.
I know, but
Well, Hollywood doesn't really do that for college, I don't think.
yes, they do on
they?
TV shows.
Maybe
All
they
the,
do.
yeah, that's why it's annoying to me because I've seen enough of them where I'm like, that's not real life.
Yeah.
I mean, now, if any of y'all watching this show have attended college and you guys have bells, sound off in the comments below because I would be interested to find out. But I've been to 4 separate colleges, community as well as 2 different universities, and not, or I guess 3 different universities, and not once have I heard a bell to signal class change.
Yeah.
It's just understood when your time is up, and you leave. Or if you, as an adult, need to leave before then, you get up and you leave.
Yeah.
So
I'd say this episode could have done with another 20 minutes.
yeah, at least 15 more minutes.
Just exploring, like,
unpack stories.
What in the world are they doing in that lab?
Right.
Like, some of the, they don't tell you anything about what's going on there. And I'm like, it'd be nice to know what they're at least trying to do. That way we can, like, oh, that's how 8-Ball does what he does. That makes sense now. Not just, it's not working, get it working, and then suddenly it's working for him. And we're like, what's working? I don't know what he's doing.
Well, he did tell us
Did he?
when he's fighting Sleepwalker.
Okay, because I missed that.
Yeah. So, if you guys haven't watched it, plug your ears, I guess. So, he's got a particular metal in his stick, and that's what's giving him that power.
No, there's got to be something else in there. Like, vibranium doesn't just light up. I don't mind saying vibranium.
Okay.
It doesn't just light up. He put, like, it's some kind of device that he's been experimenting
Well, sure,
on inside.
but he's...
We know there's vibranium there, but what is going... Like, how is the vibranium being powered?
Right.
We don't know. Like, they were shooting lasers at diamonds or something, and
Well,
I don't know how that,
Yeah.
gives him power, but...
No, that one doesn't give him power. So, I think they're
And
working...
we saw these little tubes that reminded me of TMNT2.
Yes.
It's the ooze! The ooze! I love that. It's the missing link! Sorry.
I love it when Splinter... It's time to tell you the truth. You're mutants.
I know you were shocked by that revelation.
I'm not your real dad. You are, in fact, adopted.
Anyways.
Hey, heads up. Look at your local cinema, because the first TMT movie is coming back to
ours.
Flashback Cinema, and so we're going to try and catch that in a couple of weeks. I'm looking at possibly taking my kid, provided he doesn't get himself in trouble between now and then. So, something to do. That's what we like to call in the business
That's
a
right.
tangent.
That's right.
A rabbit trail.
Or a turtle trail.
Yeah. But we went really fast down that turtle trail.
Anyways, I love this episode though. It was so much fun to watch. I knew it was really well done. No expense was spared except for the police car. and
their uniforms or lack thereof.
Right.
But I mean, then the SWAT come out, and you're like, all right, that's a little more believable.
Right. Well, it was weird because they said we need backup, and then suddenly SWAT is called. I'm like, wait a minute, you skipped a few steps here.
Except they got out of an Amazon Prime van.
Again, I don't mind suspending
right. It's no problem, but I gotta make jokes.
I'm gonna laugh at it, but
this is my bread and butter.
Well, it's funny because it was just like the cops were the worst part of the episode.
Right.
Everything else was so good. Like the villain was great, the hero was great, the main characters were great.
And believable.
It's just like those side things that were like, well, this is definitely a YouTube video. But I'm really thankful that they did this because.
But when I think back to Sleepwalker, the few issues that I remember reading, like I felt like the humor was on point because that was a big part of the series, like the way that Rick would fall asleep at the most inopportune moments, or he'd wake up at the most inopportune moments, and so I feel like they caught the essence of the character. They added a few modern twists, and like I say, I think for the most part it worked really well.
Yeah, it's really good, pretty funny too. Like you said, the humor's great. There's this neighbor of his that's trying to hit on him while his girlfriend's downstairs.
Oh, that scene was great. She's like, I can't tell if it's hot in here or if the thermostat's broke. Well, you had it set at 95 degrees.
Oh, okay. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny. So.
And then he came in from work and he's like, I think I have tetanus and rabies.
There's a lot of good cultural references in here too. Yeah. They reference Bumblebee, so Transformers.
Oh, from Transformers, yeah.
They've got a bunch of posters from the other Marvel movies. They had a Walking Dead poster. I didn't catch them doing DC. That would have been too funny.
Oh, yeah. There's some Yankees references. They are in Brooklyn after all. So, as much as I hate the Yankees, I'll let that one slide because it's relevant to the setting.
If you like superheroes, go watch this. It's really fun.
It's totally worth 30 minutes of your life.
It's not even that. It's like 25.
And you have to stick to the end because there is an after credit scene that sets up a different story.
Whatever's coming next, I suppose.
Right.
So, but it was really fun. I appreciate Dan Zier for pointing it out to us. Thanks for all the people who worked on it. I mean, it was really good.
It gets the superhero chat seal of approval.
That's right. So let us know what you thought after you watch it. So now that you've heard us talk about it, we tried to keep it spoiler free.
Come back and let us know what
and let us know what you thought.
After you subscribe to us and Marvel Sleepwalker.
Sub to us and them.
Yeah.
And give us a like if you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.